Hello students, now we will discuss a new chapter, that is your surface chemistry. Surface chemistry. As the name suggests, it particularly deals with some phenomenon that occurring at the interface, you can say, or at the surface of solid or liquid. Okay, the surface phenomenon, particularly in this chapter we deals with about the surface phenomenon. Okay, surface phenomenon means you can consider one is, you can say, adsorption. This one is one of your surface phenomenon. You can say crystallization. It also includes your surface phenomena. Again, you can consider emulsion. Emulsions also involve your surface phenomena. Micelle formation, micellar action, micelle formation also includes your surface phenomena. Okay, so particularly this surface chemistry is the branch of physical chemistry. Okay, the branch of physical chemistry which deals with surface phenomena, that is called your surface chemistry. Okay, that is your surface chemistry. And it can be studied. Okay, the phenomena that is happening at the surface, that can be studied only in case of heterogeneous systems. Heterogeneous system means two immiscible solids or liquids, you can say, solid or liquid. Okay, solid or gas, all are your heterogeneous mixtures. And you have to study it at its boundary, or you can say interface, that is the connection region between these phases. If the system is homogeneous, then you can't study about its surface phenomena. Okay, what is happening there, you can't get it. So only surface chemistry is considered in case of heterogeneous systems. Is that clear? So now one important surface phenomena I need to discuss over here, that is your adsorption. Okay, so let us define what do you mean by adsorption. So that is adsorption. Adsorption is a surface phenomenon. Okay, so what happens in case of adsorption means, suppose you consider a piece of chalk, I am saying. Okay, so you take just a piece of chalk, this one is a piece of chalk. Okay, and you just dip this piece of chalk inside ink. Okay, ink, you just put this chalk inside ink. So this one is ink. Is that clear? So what happens actually, initially the ink particles, okay, the ink particles get intact at the surface of the chalk. Is that clear? If you break this chalk after dipped inside ink, then could you imagine that the central portion of the chalk, let's say this chalk I am cutting over here. So this one I have break this chalk into two parts. One part is here. So what happens initially, the ink particles collected at the surface, they stick at the surface, but if you look at the central portion of the chalk, then it will remain as white. It looks like white. It may be after some time, it may be the entire bulk may be converted, coloration will be equal to that of ink, but initially the ink particles present at the surface of chalk, that is what I called adsorption. Adsorption means the process in which external substance that remain at the surface rather than bulk, that is called adsorption. It is a surface phenomenon. Right now this ink particles are present at the surface of the chalk, so this is called adsorption. So adsorption, if I need to define over here, what do you mean by adsorption? So that can be written as the process in which accumulation of molecules takes place at the surface rather than bulk is known as adsorption. Okay, as a result of which you can say the concentration of molecular species, becomes more at surface than compared to bulk, that is called adsorption. Is that clear? Then another term comes over here. So there is a big confusion between adsorption and absorption. Both the terms are different. Absorption means uniform distribution of particles through a solid or liquid, you can say. Okay, for example, if I consider a sponge, okay, so if you add sponge plus ink, then tell me, is there any surface phenomenon there? No. The ink molecules, the ink substance dipped into the entire bulk of the sponge. This is called absorption. Suppose you take few sand molecules. You take few sand and add water with it. Then what you will see? The water molecules get enter throughout the sand uniformly. That is called absorption, which is completely distributed throughout the sand, okay, or throughout this sponge, you can say. That is called your absorption. So absorption is a bulk phenomenon, whereas your adsorption, that is a surface phenomenon. Remember this. Is that clear? Now if I consider one example, that is, if I consider a silica gel plus moisture, or you can say water vapor. Water vapor. Okay, so in this example, if this one is your, let's say, silica gel, this one is silica gel. Now in this bright example, silica gel, its role is it absorbs the water molecule present in air, or you can you know about silica gel. You may have suppose you are going to market and purchase some electronic devices. You see there are small packets of silica gel would be there. Why? Because it absorbs water molecules from the moisture, so that that device will be safety for long time. Okay, so here you see, suppose these are water vapors are there, here water vapors are there, then what is its rule? It absorbs the water molecules from the air. That's why the water molecules can accumulate at the surface like this. These are water molecules. They are particularly accumulated at the surface. Clear? So here this silica gel, there are this is one of the bright example of your adsorption, and here two terms are very important. One is your that is adsorbent, and another one is adsorbate. Adsorbate. So adsorbent means the material or the solid, you can consider the material on the surface of which adsorption has taken place. Okay, this one, the material on surface of which adsorption has taken place. Adsorption has taken place. And this adsorbate, the substance which is adsorbed at the surface. So in this example, I can say this silica gel is your adsorbent, and these water molecules are adsorbate. So adsorbate get accumulated over the surface of a adsorbent. That clear? Okay. Now if I need to distinguish between your adsorption and absorption, so what will be that? Adsorption, and next one is absorption. Very simple, 2 points are there. First of all, this one adsorption, it is a surface phenomenon, and absorption, it is a bulk phenomenon. Clear? So adsorption, rate of adsorption, it is little bit of a higher than that of a rate of a absorption. Okay, the rate of adsorption is comparatively high. Here the rate of absorption is comparatively slow. Next, If I consider again this example, first one, that is your water vapor plus silica gel plus water vapor. Again, if I consider anhydrous CaCl2 plus water vapor. When you see the difference here, the water vapors get accumulated only at the surface of silica gel. So this one is an example of your, you can say, adsorption. But here the water molecules are completely dipped inside anhydrous CaCl2, calcium chloride. So role of this calcium chloride, it acts as a dehydrating agent, you know. So it completely absorbs the water molecules throughout its bulk. That means the water molecules are uniformly dipped inside anhydrous CaCl2. So this one is an example of your absorption. Is that clear? So if I represent diagrammatically, it's very clear. If this one is your silica gel, then the water molecules get accumulated at the surface. That is what I called adsorption. This one is adsorption, surface phenomenon. But here, in this case, if I consider this one as your anhydrous calcium chloride, then what happens in this case? These water molecules get absorbed completely throughout the bulk. So this one is your absorption and this one is adsorption. And can you tell me here, adsorbent, that is silica gel. Silica gel is your adsorbent because on its surface adsorption has taken place, and here adsorbate is water vapor. This one is adsorbate, and this silica gel, this one is adsorbent. Again, this anhydrous AlCl2, this one is adsorbent, and water vapors, these are adsorbate. And another term is there, that is called Absorption means the process in which both adsorption and absorption occurs simultaneously is called absorption. That means, as the example that I have just given to you, that is, if you dip a piece of chalk in ink, initially the adsorption takes place, but let it be, let's say after 10 minutes or 15 minutes, if you check it, then there will be no white colored substance at the center, rather it completely absorbs your ink particles. That is called absorption. That means adsorption followed by absorption, known as absorption. Next, another terminology is there, that is called desorption. Desorption means that is completely opposite to that of adsorption. In case of desorption, the process of removal of adsorbate particles from the surface of adsorbent, that is called your desorption. Okay, desorption. The process of the process of removal of adsorbate particles from the surface of adsorbent is called desorption. Okay, so removal of accumulated particles again from the surface of adsorbent, that is known as your desorption. Okay, so diagrammatically, very simply, this is adsorption. Just remember this terminology. This is adsorption. That clear? Again, this one, tell me. This one is nothing but it is uniformly distributed throughout the bulk. Okay, so here this one is your absorption, and this one, tell me. Here the particles are present at the surface, including also present at bulk. So this one is your absorption, adsorption, absorption and desorption. Okay, next we also defined your adsorbent and adsorbate. Now actually we see why this adsorption has taken place, why adsorption occurs in heterogeneous at its boundary or in heterogeneous interfaces. Why adsorption actually takes place, what is the driving force behind this adsorption? Let us discuss. You see, suppose an adsorbent I am considering, let's say this one is a solid, okay, solid adsorbent, you can say solid adsorbent. Okay, so here at the center, this molecule, solid molecules are there, at the center this molecule is equally attracted by the surrounding molecules, you can say like this. Okay, so the net force acting on it is 0. So the net force acting at the bulk molecule is 0. It is equally balanced by the surrounding particles. But what about the particle that is particularly present at surface? That means it is attracted by these surface molecules along with the molecules present in the bulk. Okay, so that here the force is not balanced, this is unbalanced residual force over at the surface. Is that clear? Due to such unbalanced residual force, automatically it has tendency to attract the molecule. Suppose a gas adsorbate is there, I need to adsorb this gas over this solid surface. Okay, so this tendency, this inward pull of the surface molecule is responsible for the accumulation of these gas particles over the surface of this solid. Okay, so this inward pull is nothing but the tendency of adsorption. This inward pull is responsible, this inward force of the surface is responsible for adsorption. That's why adsorption takes place. Clear? Now let us discuss about the thermodynamics of adsorption. thermodynamics of adsorption. So according to thermodynamics, the process should be spontaneous. The process should be spontaneous. As you know, this equation del G, that is equal to del H minus T del S. This equation, for spontaneous process, this del G should be negative, that is del G less than 0. It has been found that essentially that the adsorption is exothermic in nature. Okay, so adsorption is essentially an exothermic process, because you know the attraction of particles is there, attraction of molecules, accumulation of molecules at the surface is there. So as a result of which, what happens, your energy is released. Why? Because as just I have told you, due to that inward pull, accumulation of molecules at the surface takes place. As a result, the surface energy decreases. Okay, the surface energy decreases in the form of heat. Surface energy decreases in the form of heat. That's why your del H, that will be negative. Okay, this enthalpy factor becomes negative. Then what about this entropy factor? Entropy factor, you see, if the solid surface is there, this one is adsorbent, and molecules of gases, I am considering this gas as your adsorbate. Molecules of gases are traveling here and there, so they are moving with more randomness, you can say. So whenever such adsorption takes place, once these gas molecules get collected at the surface of this adsorbent, what happens? The randomness decreases. So if randomness decreases, then I can say this del S becomes negative. Change in entropy, that will be negative. So if this one becomes negative, then what is the conclusion drawn over here? That is your Gibbs-Helmholtz equation, you can say. We need del G should be negative. So for that process, what I can say, overall, if you place minus del S over here, then it becomes positive. So in order to get del G negative, what we need? The maximum negative enthalpy we need. Okay, so del H should be highly negative, so that overall you can say del G can be less than 0. So that is the condition of a spontaneity. Okay, so this is the thermodynamic concept behind your adsorption. Is that clear? Types of adsorption. Types of adsorption. Adsorption are of two types. Okay, one is your physorption and another one is chemisorption. So let us discuss about physorption first, then we will go through chemisorption. Clear? Regarding physorption, adsorption means accumulation of molecules at the surface. So this one, first one, that is physorption. Okay, it means if your adsorbate molecule, as at the beginning I have told you, if my adsorbent surface is solid, okay, and adsorbate generally, that is your gas, you can consider, then what happens? If the adsorbate molecules stick at the surface by means of weak van der Waals force of attraction, weak van der Waals force is there, okay, then it is said to be your Fridgerson or physical adsorption. Fridgerson, or simply you can say physical adsorption. Physical adsorption. That means molecules of adsorbate get accumulated at the solid surface, solid or liquid surface, or you can say better you can write at the adsorbent surface, okay, solid or you can say adsorbent, the clear surface by means of weak van der Waals force of attraction. Only weak van der Waals force of attraction is there. For example, if I consider this one as a nickel metal surface, you know metals are good adsorbent. This one is, let's say, nickel surface, metal surface as your adsorbent, nickel likewise, okay. If my adsorbent is, let's say, hydrogen molecule, H2 molecule like this, so initially this one my adsorbate and this is adsorbent. So what happens? Adsorption takes place like this, nickel then initially what happens, this hydrogen bonds begins to break and they come in contact with this nickel surface, that is by means of weak van der Waals force. This one is weak van der Waals force, that's clear. So this weak van der Waals force, due to such weak van der Waals force, molecules hydrogen gas get adsorbed at the surface first, that is called your physical adsorption or Fridgerson. Let us discuss various characteristics of physical adsorption, okay, characteristics of physical adsorption. So you know which force is responsible for physical adsorption, that is your weak van der Waals force. Remember it, very important, weak van der Waals force. Characteristics of physical adsorption. Characteristics of physical adsorption. Characteristics of physical adsorption. First one, that is nature of force. First one, that is nature of force. As just I have informed you that your physical adsorption or Fridgerson, that is due to the weak van der Waals force of attraction, okay. Nature of force, the force is, this is due to, or you can write Fridgerson is due to weak van der Waals force of attraction, due to weak van der Waals force of attraction, van der Waals force of attraction. Between the adsorbent and adsorbate also, okay. Next, that is occurrence. It generally occurs at low temperature, you know, because if you supply high temperature, since the attraction is very weak, so high temperature that can result your desorption. Is that clear? So low temperature is required for physical adsorption. Clear? So do you know that is next the characteristics you can consider, that is heat of adsorption. Heat of adsorption. As I have told you, molecules of adsorbates are under very weak van der Waals force of attraction. They are associated with the surface of adsorbent by means of weak van der Waals force of attraction. Okay, so generally heat of adsorption, if you supply very less amount of heat, then it can easily break the interaction. As a result, the desorption can be carried out. Okay, so here heat of adsorption, that is near about 3 to 40 kilojoule per mole. Low heat of adsorption, you can say that is low heat of adsorption. Clear? Next characteristics of physorption, that is activation energy. That activation energy, you see, activation energy, I can write over here, this activation energy, that is insignificant. Insignificant means, since physorption, what is that? Very weak van der Waals force of attraction. No chemical compound is formed there. Nothing, no change is there. Only it's a little bit of a electrostatic force of attraction, dipole attraction, you can say, that arises between the adsorbate molecule and the surface molecule of adsorbent. Okay, so no need of activation energy, that is insignificant in case of physical adsorption. Is that clear? Next, specificity. As I have told you, specificity. Physical adsorption is non-specific. Okay, this is non-specific. Non-specific means it depends upon the nature of adsorbate and the roughness of adsorbent. Okay, because you know it can every sort of source of gas, any type of gas can be adsorbed over the surface of any adsorbent. However, it may be large extent or small extent, it does not matter, but adsorption should be there. Okay, so this physical adsorption, that is non-specific in nature. Next, it's very important, structure of adsorbed layer. Structure of adsorbed layer. In case of physical adsorption, okay, the layer is multi-layer. Okay, in physorption process, multi-layer is formed. Multi-layer is formed over adsorbent. Multi-layer means, suppose this one is your adsorbent, solid surface, this one is adsorbent, and this, it is physorption which occurs at the surface of adsorbent due to weak van der Waals force of attraction. But however, this weak van der Waals force of attraction is not stopped over here. However, it has some effect to above, so it can form the layer, another layer like this, and after few distance such tendency vanishes. So this is your multi-layer which is formed in case of physical adsorption. Okay. Next, surface area. You know, whatever the type of adsorption may be, with increase in surface area, number of molecules will be more at surface. Okay, so your adsorption is directly proportional to surface area. Adsorption is directly related to your surface area. Clear? Then physical adsorption is reversible in nature. Physical adsorption can be reversible, by reducing pressure, You see, this one is adsorbent, and if you throw some gases to this surface, then definitely adsorption should be there. With increase in pressure, adsorption increases, physical adsorption increases. But if you decrease the pressure, since they are associated with weak van der Waals force, so there can be desorption occurs very easily. That's why physical adsorption is reversible in nature. Okay. Next, speed of adsorption, physical adsorption. The equilibrium achieved rapidly in case of physical adsorption. Okay, the equilibrium achieved rapidly. Why? Because again, such adsorbate molecules are associated with weak van der Waals force. That's why the achievement of equilibrium, the establishment of equilibrium is faster in case of physical adsorption. Okay. Next, nature of adsorbate and the surface of adsorbent. More the roughness of the surface of adsorbent, more easily can the molecular species, the adsorbate particles can be easily adsorbed at the surface. Next, straight away we will go to chemical adsorption or chemisorption. Okay, just opposite to that of physical adsorption. You just see, that is chemical adsorption. So in chemical adsorption, the nature of force, first one, nature of force. You see, the nature of force, that can be ionic or covalent bond is formed between the adsorbate and adsorbent molecules. Okay, so definitely that is compound formation takes place. Compound formation takes place. You see, suppose this one is any metal surface. This one I am writing over here. Any metal surface is there. Metal surface is there, and initially suppose this metal surface is your adsorbent, and I need to adsorb hydrogen gas as your adsorbate over this surface. Then what happens? Initially there will be your fusorption, you can consider, that is weak van der Waals force. Next, this hydrogen interaction, hydrogen bond vanishes, and there exists a strong covalent bond. That is metal hydride formation. You know, interaction of metal surface with hydrogen gas is easily adsorbed. So here this hydrogen metal interaction is covalent in nature. So right now, due to such compound formation, the nature of interaction of force of adsorbate and adsorbent, that is ionic or covalent. Clear? Next, heat of adsorption. You tell me, heat of adsorption definitely, since there is the formation of covalent and ionic bond, little bit of strong interaction is there between your adsorbate and adsorbent. So here the heat of adsorption is maximum than compared to your physical adsorption. Okay, so here the heat of adsorption, particularly in case of chemical adsorption, that will be nearly about 80 to 240 kilojoule mole inverse, the heat of adsorption. Next, regarding layer formation. In case of physical adsorption, multi-layer is formed, but here once interaction is there, whether it may be ionic or covalent, next all the surfaces are occupied by the adsorbate molecules, so further no adsorption takes place. So a monolayer is formed. In case of chemical adsorption, a monolayer is only formed. This one is the monolayer, because you know this monolayer is associated with your strongly ionic or covalent bond. Okay, monolayer is formed. Monolayer. Again, if you increase the temperature, chemical adsorption increases. So there is a word that is extent of adsorption. Okay, so extent of adsorption in case of chemical adsorption, what happens? With increase in temperature, the chemical adsorption also increases. How? Because you know, since there is formation of covalent bond between the adsorbent and adsorbate, so due to the formation of covalent bond, definitely compound formation is there, and for this purpose you need activation energy, very significant activation energy. Here significant activation energy is required over here. So for activation energy you need to provide temperature. Okay, so high temperature is required for significant activation energy, and then after it also when all the surfaces of adsorbent get occupied by adsorbate molecules, then further no adsorption takes place. Is that clear? So chemical adsorption, that is irreversible in nature, because you know once the adsorbate molecules being fixed by through the formation of covalent bond or ionic bond, you can say. So next, removal of such molecules becomes difficult. Okay, so these are irreversible in nature. Next, as I have told you, adsorption is essentially an exothermic process. So whether it may be physical adsorption or chemical adsorption, energy is released. ठीक? So today we have discussed what do you mean by adsorption, what is desorption, what is sorption, what is the difference between absorption and adsorption, and we also discuss the classification of adsorption, that is physical adsorption and chemical adsorption, and differentiate them on the basis of their characteristics. So hopefully you understand it. Okay, thank you for your kind attention.